less pace, as in like their pace. I don't really think it matters about your pace if you're putting the ball in the right areas. I think you saw today they bowled extremely well. Was taken back by how many overs Shane has bowled already. So it's a long day for him. In short amount of overs have bowled. Um, Look, it's like anything. If you put the ball in the right area, I think Mohamed Abbas came out last year and he probably missed his mark last time he came out here. And if you're not bowling quick, in Australia, you have to have some skill base to actually hit that line, length, and area to actually create something. I think with these guys, they've actually been very, very good. I think they've been outstanding. I think they came back last Test match after lunch, they bowled a great line and length. And I think they've, with Shane Shah there doing his job, and he bowled well today with some not so much luck. So when he's up and about, I think the rest of the guys follow him, and I think they're fine. Yeah, I think Shane's always going to bowl that nice line length. Hamza, he bowled a nice length as well. Probably swung the ball a little bit too far outside off stump. Once he got it right, I think he came from the bottom end. It was difficult to play. And then I think Amir, the crease wasn't really working for him like it did in Perth. It's very soft for him. So he was trying to get used to that, which is hard for a batsman because he's not bowling it in the area consistently that you think the ball's going to come. So they're the ones that you sort of go, well, hang on, what's going to happen here? One could take off, could bowl me a Jaffa. Um, but yeah, it is how it is. Get less would have been great, but credit to the way that Pakistan bowled. They bowled unbelievable channels. I think the way that Hamza bowled around the wicket and pretty much at the end there, it was almost like bowling with a juke ball. He actually used his skills very, very well, made the boys play and put the ball in the right area. But yeah, I think going into tomorrow, we're in a pretty good position. Going to have to bat well and yeah, try and set up for our bowlers. Pitch was good. I explained during the break that it was 8 mils last year, 6 mils this year, but more live grass. When I marked centre, I was taken back by how soft it was, but it's a bit different when you tap in the middle. But yeah, as I just said, the wicket looks good if you put the ball in the right areas. You probably challenge the bat a little bit more, and you get those nicks. And you saw one there. It's either not shooting low, but if it kisses the wicket, it's sort of staying at bail height, and then the other one might just caress and bounce a little bit more. Yeah. When they bowled scramble seam, it did. It felt like they were bowling traditional, like swing bowling. The seam was quite upright. There wasn't really much scrambled. I think when Steve and Marnus were batting together, it looked like they did bowl a bit more scrambled seam. I think that was just more that the angle that they were using. But yeah, I think it probably similar, if anything. Yeah, I think the ball manufacturers managed to make the ball stay shinier for longer. I think that's what they spoke about. That's doing its job, and I think the seam's staying harder as well. So they've had to do some work on the ball, which I think is actually helping suit the conditions. I think as well. Anything with a four in front of it would be great, but it's going to be yeah, probably another tough grind tomorrow if they bowl like they did today and have very good discipline. Uh, it's going to be a challenge. But that means we have to put the accelerator down. I think if we're going to get to that total with the days lost or some of the day lost. I think it was he's spoken about the fact that he resigned to the fact that he was done back a few years back, and now he's just playing like every game's his last. He's going to keep playing as long as he can, and it's a true testament to the way his mindset's been when he went back to Queensland and he he's captained them and batted extremely well. Batted at 4 and allowed the young guys to come through and bat ahead of him. And he's done a very a good job there with the team. And he's just happy to be back part of the group. And his last 12 months have been absolutely phenomenal. And he can play as long as he wants to and feels comfortable. And they've got 2 young, beautiful girls at home as well, and his wife Rachel. So I think that would have a big say in it as well, being away from family, being a family man that he is. So yeah, I think when the time's right, he'll call it. You just got to try and apply pressure in a way that's sort of eliminating the risk of dismissal as well. Like I know Uzi walked at Shane Shah and it nipped a little bit, but they're things that you do to try and put them off their length. And you've got to be able to be brave to do that. And anything that I got short of a length, I pulled one off Hassan Ali. Anything that was a little bit wider, I sort of threw the bat at it. But then when they're in that corridor, your natural instinct comes in Test cricket. You look just to try and defend it. So yeah, it is a challenge, but to try and apply the pressure back to the bowler, you have to do something. I'm not the player who can just sit there, otherwise I might as well kick him over. So yeah, you just got to try and apply pressure. Oh, I haven't really worked on that. It's more if it's in line with the stumps, you normally just hold the bat there. Anything that's a little bit wider, I'm still throwing my bat at it. That's just a natural instinct, and that's generally the length of the ball, not so much the line.
Was he had a bit on his mind going into step match? You talk to him and his frustration about not having a stick on the bat. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I haven't talked to him about not about it, but he's been fine. Like he's put his statement out there that he believes in that and all lives are equal, and with him he wouldn't have made that statement if he didn't feel like he could take the criticism. He knew he was going to get criticism, and at the end of the day he's a big boy, and I just said to him, you just got to keep believing in what you believe in and move on and get on with cricket, and he's done that pretty well, to be fair. To be honest, I didn't even think about it. To be fair, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I think the ICC spoke to him about that.
Many have many just getting back to what I asked you about, just in terms of apologize for that, but in terms of what you've got kids on the shoes, that was sort of obviously a big statement. What do you think when you guys think of that?
Well, I've got my kids on my shoes, and they've been there for a long time. So yeah, they've been on the back of my shoes for a long time. So I think writing your kids' names. For me, it's sentimental. They're always with me, and that's just something that he decided to do. I don't really have an answer on that. Sorry. As a cricketer, or as a cricketer? Oh, I just think that's always been him. He's always been the type of person to always say it how it is, but whenever he says it, it's definitely meaningful. And he says it with a purpose, and it's something that he believes in when he's saying something, or when he's explaining, or when he's even shutting me down sometimes when I'm trying to prove a point. But that's just how Uzi is. Uzi's always been a leader around the group, even at New South Wales. When we were young, he's always been that guy that's always put his hand up to help. And especially with his community stuff. The community stuff's outstanding. The work that goes on behind the scenes that he does for his community and his foundation is outstanding. And I think that's the person that he is. And he's got a lot of respect from a lot of people. Someone has to strike over 70. Look, it's a tough one. It's obviously up to the selectors, but from my position, it's whoever I feel like the person who's worked their backside off and has been there for a while, in the background. I think Harry's been that person that's always he's toured. He's going to have that chance. He scored 100 the other day. He missed out on a couple other games, but he's always been that person who was next in line. So if the selectors show their faith in him, then I'm sure he'll come out and play the way he does. It's not too dissimilar to me.